Hi, my name is Samuel Rodgers and this is my honours project for XB3992. For this project I wanted to recreate a piece of concept art as a 3D model, as I predict this will be a valuable skill to have in the games industry. I wanted to work on something I was interested in and was relevant to any future jobs I was applying for, so I looked on ArtStation and came across a piece of concept work by Alex Itcham called Gunship. My goal for this honours project was to make a high detailed military aircraft, then make a hangar as a backdrop. I wanted to convey a story of what the aircraft had gone through, so my idea was to show the aircraft with damage and low on ammunition after having just returned from a mission. As the picture I was working from was made of multiple images of real life aircraft, I studied the pictures of the Apache Longbow helicopter and the F-22 Raptor fighter jet. The landing gear looked like that of a commercial airliner, so I gathered the images of these aircraft to work from. I took inspiration from a piece of concept art from Mike Hill called Jackal Rear from the Infinity War series of games. I made orthographic sketches of the two images and how they would fit together so I could get a rough idea of how to model it. I started blocking out the aircraft in Maya and attempted to get the dimensions correct before working out the detail. The artist's priority for the concept wasn't about how the aircraft would actually fit together, more towards how it would look, so I took some artistic license when it came to modelling the rear of the aircraft. To make the shape of the body, I started using the curve bridge tool for joining two surfaces together. I would make the starting and ending points of the curve, then I would bridge between them and raise the amount of edge loops to the desired amount. Then change the bridge mode over to a curve that would find a smooth line to join the two ends together. I did this separately for the top and bottom, so there was a clear transition from the functional curved underside and the smooth top side of the body. This was to give the cross section the appearance of a wing, which was incorporated in a lot of modern fighter aircraft to produce more lift. For the hangar, I took inspiration from a piece of concept art made for Star Citizen. I modelled the layout of the hangar in Maya to get an idea of what scale would be appropriate for the size of the scene. I made all the assets as separate pieces and textured them in Substance Painter. After they were finished, I imported them into Unreal 4 and adjusted the lighting to see how they would look. For the floor, I put an emissive ring of lights down to better show the underside of the aircraft. For the cockpit, I wanted detailed screens, monitors and joysticks to show where to operate the aircraft from. My idea was for the cockpit layout to be asymmetrical, as this would make it more interesting for the viewer to look at. Each monitor is textured to be a light source, illuminating the cockpit. For the controls, I looked at images from real aircraft joysticks and thrust controls, as I wanted them to be believable and instantly recognisable. For the texturing, I wanted two different designs to show a range of believable liveries for the aircraft. For the first one, I wanted to copy the concept art from Alex Itcham as closely as possible. This was to show that I could accurately follow concept art. For the second, I went with the RAF paint scheme that was inspired by the camouflage they used in the 80s and 90s, as I believe this would be more recognisable to the viewer than the US Air Force livery. I researched accurate plans of what the Hellfire missiles looked like. It was useful for me to have real-life references in the scene, as I wanted to set the project in the near future. I think this would help the scene achieve a believable look I was going for. This also sped up the modelling process, as I had very good references to work from and didn't have to guess what they looked like. My idea for this scene was to have the aircraft animated with working flaps and glowing jet exhausts. I wanted the viewer to get an idea of what the aircraft would look like if it were in a game, functioning as intended. I animated the missiles to drop and then fire out at the target just like they would on an Apache helicopter. Overall, I think I have achieved what I set out to in my initial plan of the project. I'm quite happy with the results and hope to do more vehicles in the future. Thank you for watching.